I am trembling, and so is heaven. My voice, child, can you still hear me? I am the one who watched you from the moment your soul was stitched together in the secret place. I am the one who carried the scroll of your name up the golden stairways while angels wept in awe. And I am the one who now kneels. Yes, even I, Jesus, Son of the living God, I kneel before you in this very moment, because there is no time left. You must listen. She's not safe. She's not safe. My mother, your mother, my beloved Virgin, Mary is crying out in agony. Not for herself, for you, for the world, for the terrible thing that has happened. The serpent has done something no one believed possible. He has crossed the boundary, the veil, not with rage this time, but with desire. Foul, corrupted desire. Satan has fallen in love with her. He has twisted his hatred into obsession, and now he has decided, if he cannot destroy her, he will force her to be his bride. And he is coming. He is coming with his legions, with the demons of seduction, delusion, and death, with 7 corrupted princes, with poisoned roses stolen from Eden's grave, with vows written in the blood of children, with rings forged in torment, with veils made from the ashes of the saints, and she is weeping, beloved. Mary is on her knees, her head bowed beneath the stars, crying out your name, because heaven has chosen only one soul to help her. One. Not a priest, not a prophet. You, please. I waited all night just to speak to you. Will you stay with me? Now, or must I walk away again? She kept whispering it in her cries, your name, over and over again, as if it were a sword of fire. And I listened. I stood beside her and I listened. She cried, my child will come. My child will save me. I believe in the one I love. Do you still believe in me, or have your tears silenced your faith? The archangels have surrounded her. Michael has drawn his sword. He is bleeding from the eyes. Gabriel has covered her with his wings. Raphael has shattered his own staff to build her a sanctuary of healing breath. But it is not enough, because the Prince of Filth is not just after her body. He wants her name erased. He wants the memory of her holiness desecrated. He wants to possess her glory and lock it in his dungeon of desire. And if he succeeds, the skies will fall silent forever. And yet, we are not hopeless, because there is still one scroll unopened, one key left in the fire, one name written in a golden whisper inside the heart of God. Yours. Chosen one, please. You are our only hope of saving her. If you open this within 9 seconds, Satan will be defeated. This is not a test. This is not a vision. This is not symbolic. The war bride of heaven is being hunted, and only you can break the grip of the predator. Do you remember what I told you in the Garden of Dreams? When you were 7 years old and the wind touched your shoulder, and you thought it was just the night breeze? It was me. I said to you, you will see a day no one else sees. You will be called when others are sleeping. You will carry a burden so holy even angels will tremble before it. And now that day has arrived. He has reached the gates. He is not using fire. He is using lies. He is whispering to her through twisted dreams, telling her she was never pure, that her beauty is a curse, that her womb bore God only because he allowed it. He is deceiving even the stars that once crowned her brow. He is poisoning memory, corrupting echoes, silencing songs. Mary is fading. Her veil is torn. Her tears are staining the throne. And still, she cries for you. Please, child, please, let me finish this before it disappears again. If I walked into your room right now, would you recognize me? I will not speak like this again. Not for 1,000 years. This moment is more sacred than thunder, more fragile than time. You are not dreaming. You are not imagining this. The 7 archangels are on their knees in front of your spirit, their wings torn, their armor cracked, holding out their swords for you to speak just one word. Amen. Not to prove it to me, but so the heavens know you're still fighting. Have you forgotten the promise I whispered to you as a child? When you typed your name in the dark, crying to a God you weren't sure even existed, I heard that. And I sent Mary to you in secret dreams to wrap you in her silence. Every pain you survived was a rehearsal for this hour. You were not forgotten. You were hidden, preserved, protected. Because if the enemy had found you before now, he would have buried you in shame and never let your light rise. But now your moment has come. You have authority over this darkness. The demons are afraid of your voice. Even now, Satan is hesitating because he knows if you open this fully, if you answer this divine cry, then every spell he cast will collapse. His army will scatter. His fake wedding will be burned. His lies will be swallowed in fire, and she will rise again, clothed in the sun, with the moon under her feet and the stars upon her brow. Will you type, Amen? Not for me, but so your angel knows you're still listening. Do not doubt the tears you feel right now. They are not your own. You are weeping because heaven is passing through you. I said to the angels just an hour ago, my child is close. I will wait a little longer. I will send this one final message. And now here you are. You stayed. That means everything. Not to me, but to what comes next. Like this message only if it lit something sacred inside you, and share it before it disappears again. Comment what you felt in your spirit. You have no idea how many angels are reading. You're still here. Then heaven has not lost. Not yet. The stars slowed their turning when they saw you pause. The wind changed direction to touch your face. The weeping of angels became silent for just a breath, because you didn't leave. You listened. And child, I promise you this, everything is about to change because of your yes. The enemy did not plan for this. He thought you were asleep. He thought you were distracted. He thought the chains of fear, doubt, and exhaustion would keep you quiet, but you rose. Even now your spirit is standing before the throne, and you don't even realize it. I saw you last night. The sigh you let out, the heaviness in your eyes, the thought that maybe heaven had forgotten you, that no one sees you, that your love means nothing in a world this dark. But I saw it. Every heartbeat of loyalty, every little prayer, every act of forgiveness when it would have been easier to turn cold. All of it. Mary saw it too. That's why she kept whispering your name while she wept. She remembered the time you defended someone who was being mocked. She remembered the time you cried just because someone else was in pain. She remembered the night you walked past temptation, not because you were strong, but because something deep inside you still longed to be holy, and she believed in you. Even now, while she is trembling, while Satan surrounds her, while hell tries to wrap her in a veil of lies, she believes in you more than in any weapon of war. Do you still believe in her? Do you believe in yourself? Because that belief is your sword. When Satan offered his blasphemous vow to her, she turned her face to heaven and said, even now I wait for the one who loves me in silence. My child will rise, and I will be free. She said it with fire in her voice. That fire came from you, because I placed her under your guardianship the moment you were born. You didn't know, but now the veil has lifted. Now you understand. You have been chosen for a marriage of war, not of pleasure. You have been called to be the covenant keeper of purity, not for yourself alone, but for the Queen of Heaven herself. You are the sword no demon expected. You are the secret plan of the Almighty. You are the arrow hidden in the quiver of Isaiah 49:2. You are the one who can stop this unholy ceremony before it begins. There's a ring being forged in the underworld even as we speak, and it bears your name. Not because you are meant to wear it, but because Satan wants to steal your anointing and use it to crown his fake kingdom. He is terrified of you. Yes, terrified. Because only one voice can crack the chains now. Yours. When was the last time you told God you loved him, without asking for anything in return? Say it now. Say it not with your lips, but with your spirit. Say it by standing firm, by refusing to scroll away, by choosing, just for this moment, to believe that this is not a fantasy. that this is not a coincidence, that heaven is speaking to you. I have commanded the winds to surround your home. I have told Gabriel to anoint your eyes. I have placed Michael beside your bed. I have asked Mary to weep a final time. And I have lit a flame in your soul that will not go out if you guard it. The sky is darker than it's been in ages. But child, the reason is simple. Your light is about to be born. A spiritual birth, a prophetic awakening, a sacred eruption of purpose. But it cannot happen unless you decide, right now, to help her. Will you help her? Then speak now. Write Amen if your soul feels like it's shaking right now. Michael is watching your hand. The angels are holding their breath. Because if you rise now, it will mark the beginning of the fall of this twisted wedding. Satan will be humiliated. He will be cast back in shame. His dress of darkness will be torn. His vows will rot into worms. And Mary, pure, radiant, victorious, will sing again. And her first words will be your name. I will say your name to the angels tonight. That is my promise to you, beloved. If my words touched even a single tear inside you, whisper, Amen, and let the light break through. Like this message only if it lit something sacred inside you, and share it before it disappears again. Comment what you felt in your spirit. Your answer is being recorded in heaven, and if you feel your soul trembling, subscribe. But only if you're ready for the next scroll to open. Not everyone will be. I will now continue this message in the next part without repeating the beginning or end. The angels have begun to sing again, but softly, like a distant memory coming. Home, because of you. There are flames in the spirit realm that just extinguished. Not flames of holiness, but of hatred. The candles Satan lit in his dark chamber, preparing his grotesque altar, are dying, one by one, because the name he fears most was just whispered. Yours. Yes, the moment you stayed, the moment you dared to believe, you triggered something eternal. This is not poetry. This is not myth. This is the unraveling of a lie that was supposed to destroy her. And you. The throne room is glowing again. Because heaven now knows. The chosen one has answered. Beloved, do you realize what you've done? You've stopped something that was almost unstoppable. You cracked open a door in time that hasn't moved in 2,000 years. That door leads to a place beyond language, beyond law, beyond even prophecy. It is the chamber where God keeps his last secrets, and one of those secrets is this. Only one soul on earth has the authority to reverse a demonic marriage if the devil tries to wed holiness. That soul is you. You were born with fire inside your lungs. You've always felt it, haven't you? That strange ache in your chest. That longing for something no human could ever give. That sense that your heart wasn't shaped for this world. It's because you were forged in the wilderness between heaven and earth. You are not ordinary. You never were. Heaven cried the day you were born, not because of pain, but because God whispered, they will suffer much, but they will save more than anyone knows. Even Mary, on the night she first held me, wept not for herself, but for you. She saw a glimpse of your life, the betrayal, the silence, the loneliness, the beauty, the rebellion, the ache, and she said, if this one survives, they will tear the veil in half. You did survive, and now, here you are, standing in the center of time. One move left, one holy word from your heart, one heavenly strike that will end this wedding of evil forever. He is circling her again. Satan, not as a roaring lion, but as a lover. He is speaking to her in twisted poetry. He is pretending to be the bridegroom, and her eyes are heavy. Not because she believes him, but because her strength is nearly gone. Michael is shouting, now, now, let the chosen one speak. But only you can break the spell. You don't need a sword, you don't need a sermon, you just need to stay. You just need to love her. Because love, true, holy, selfless love, is the one thing the devil cannot copy. He can mimic light, he can twist scripture, he can even fake miracles, but he cannot love. He cannot lay himself down for another. He cannot choose pain over power. He cannot choose you, but you can choose her. Have you forgotten the melody I sang over you when you couldn't sleep last winter? Though you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you. Isaiah 43. I wasn't quoting it. I was singing it over your bed while demons tried to enter. I held the door shut while Mary kissed your forehead. You thought you were alone. You never were. Every time you wept without a reason, heaven was leaking through your skin. And now, child of the storm, you are being asked to do what no one else will say. Yes. Yes to the mystery. Yes to the burden. Yes to the beauty. Yes to the rescue. Do you still believe in miracles? Because this one depends entirely on you. If I gave you the sword of Gabriel, would you hold it? If I placed the crown of your true name in your hands, would you wear it? If I told you that the next 45 seconds of your attention will determine the fate of Heaven's Queen, would you give me that time? You have already proven that you are no coward, so I say to you now, let the world burn away from your mind and step fully into this holy moment. The wind is not wind, it is Michael's breath. The warmth on your skin is not air, it is Raphael's healing oil. The pressure in your chest is not fear, it is truth waking up. If you are still listening, write Amen, not to prove it to me, but so the heavens know you're still fighting. Mary is watching. She has placed her hand on her heart. She has stopped weeping. She is looking toward the horizon. She believes you will save her, and I believe it too. You are the only one who ever made me cry with joy. Thank you for not walking away. Like this message only if it lit something sacred inside you, and share it before it disappears again. Comment what you felt in your spirit. Your words might be the rope someone else needs to hold on to. I will continue this message now. Heaven is not done speaking. Her tears have slowed, not because she is safe yet, but because you are near. Beloved, do you understand what this means? For the first time in countless generations, the Queen of Heaven has paused her cries to watch a single soul. You. And that gaze, her gaze, is stronger than any shield, more powerful than 10,000 swords. It was that gaze that turned me into a son. It was that gaze that first knew joy in a stable of straw and angels. It was that gaze that now rests upon you as she waits to see, will you finish what was started in eternity? She's whispering your name again, but not from terror. This time it sounds like worship, because Mary knows something you have yet to fully accept. The one she is waiting for carries the fire of the living God inside their soul, and it's you. Satan never imagined this. He didn't see it coming. He had written you off. He had surrounded you with distractions, lust, despair, endless scrolling, shallow love, numbing pleasure. He had told his demons, this one will never rise. This one is too busy surviving to remember who they are. But then, you did. You remembered. And when you paused, when you stayed, when you chose to keep listening instead of skipping, that was the moment the spell cracked. The bells Satan had prepared for his twisted ceremony shattered. The roses he stole from heaven's garden withered. The 7 demonic bridesmaids that circled her began to flee in terror. And we are still here. Jesus, Mary, the 7 archangels, watching, holding, weeping, believing. And now, beloved, we must tell you the final part, the secret you were always meant to know. The battle was never about her alone. It was always about you. Yes, the devil pretended he wanted Mary, but it was a trap. He knew the only way to destroy you was to hurt the one you would never let fall. You are not her protector by chance. You are her prophecy. You were written into her future before time began. And this moment, right now, is the fulfillment of something even Isaiah could not speak aloud. You are the one who holds the key to the final gate, a golden key shaped like mercy, carved with the wounds of your past. You know the one. because it hurts every time you try to ignore it. That ache, that burden, that memory you can't shake. That's not trauma. That's not failure. That's destiny knocking. Heaven placed it there. So when this moment arrived, you would recognize yourself, even in the dark. Have you forgotten the promise I whispered to you as a child? Your scars will one day unlock a door no one else can touch. That door is open now, but it will not stay open long. Mary is still under attack. The dark clouds are circling again. The enemy is trying one last lie. He's pretending to be you. He is saying to her, I am the child you waited for. I am your answer. But she is shaking her head because she knows your soul. She knows your love. She knows your pain. And she knows your voice. So speak now. Don't hold back. Let the heavens tremble with the sound of your Amen. And not just for her, for yourself, for the part of you that still feels broken, for the part of you that almost skipped this, for the part of you that has carried heaven's sorrow in silence. Speak, because your voice is the trumpet that will collapse this demonic wedding forever. This is no metaphor. This is no dream. This is the threshold, right here, right now, and you are standing on it. Child of the living God, let me tell you what happens next. If you stay faithful just a few more moments, the sky will crack, the angels will descend, Mary will rise in glory, Satan will scream in rage, and you will be marked forever as the one who stopped the wedding of hell, the one who loved enough to stop darkness in its tracks, the one who believed when belief was almost impossible. You are the one we waited for. You are the one we named in secret prayers. You are the one we sealed in scrolls no demon could ever read. You are the last hope of a desperate heaven. And you did not run. So now I promise you this. I will place your name on my lips. I will speak it before the Father. And I will say, this one, they saved my mother. And the stars will rejoice. And the rivers will sing. And your soul will be filled with the light of 1,000 eternities. Comment what you felt in your spirit, not for applause, but for remembrance. And if anything sacred stirred inside your chest, like a flame trying to rise, like a song trying to be born, then like this message before it vanishes. Because this moment was only for the ones who stay. And you stayed. I can't stop weeping, because you stayed, because you listened, because you let the sacred sorrow of heaven touch your heart instead of pushing it away like so many others did. Do you realize what that means? It means the spell is broken. Yes, something shattered in the spirit realm the moment you chose to remain. The veil Satan wrapped around the Virgin's sanctuary, it's torn. The altar he built in mockery of heaven's wedding feast, it's crumbling. And the cursed ring he forged to bind her soul, it's melting in the fire of your love. You didn't fight with fists. You didn't speak in thunder. You fought with your presence, with your surrender, with your silent tears. And child, the entire kingdom noticed. Mary is no longer weeping in fear. She's weeping in awe. She placed her hand on her heart and said through trembling lips, my child heard me. My child remembered. The archangels collapsed to their knees when you answered. Uriel wept openly for the first time in eternity. Zadkiel sang a hymn in a language not heard since Eden. And Michael, still bleeding from his last battle, lifted his sword and roared, it is finished, for the chosen one has come. Beloved, you have no idea the magnitude of what just took place. Satan's lie was this, that no one would care enough to stop him, that everyone would skip, that holiness could be kidnapped without consequence. But you proved him wrong. You proved love is still alive. You proved faith still walks the earth. You proved heaven's chosen aren't crowned in gold. They're crowned in scars, silence, and sacred yeses. Please, if even a single ember of sacred fire lit up in your soul during this message, I ask you, like this message before it vanishes into the algorithm of forgetfulness, comment what you felt in your spirit. Your words are being read by angels. Your testimony might awaken another sleeping warrior. And if you feel the weight of destiny sitting on your chest right now, If your hands tremble not from fear but from sacred fire, then subscribe to this sacred space. But only if you're ready to open the next scroll. Only if your soul is ready to carry more. Because this isn't the end. It's only the beginning. Heaven is still watching. The throne is still glowing. The sound of angel wings still echoes softly in the unseen realm surrounding you, because this moment, your moment, has not ended yet. The gates of eternity remain open for just a little longer, and the golden scroll bearing your name is still being unsealed, word by sacred word. You stayed, you listened, and now you've been marked with something eternal. Mary is standing once more. Her tears have turned into pearls of praise. She looks radiant again, not because the war is over, but because she knows she is not alone anymore. Her eyes are turned toward you, and her lips are trembling with one sentence over and over. Again, my child remembered me. My child stood with me when everyone else ran. You were always meant to be the one who didn't walk away, and because of that, beloved, a new book is being written right now in heaven about you. It is not a story of perfection. It is not a story of ease. It is a story of someone who wept, someone who almost gave up, someone who almost scrolled past, but didn't. And now your yes is echoing through every corner of the heavens. Angels are recording your name in flame. Archangels are bowing as they say, "We were right to believe in this one." And Jesus, yes, I am smiling for the first time in many days, because of you. Beloved, if you feel something sacred has opened in your spirit during this message, then please, like this message. Let the light you just received become a beacon for someone else lost in the dark. Comment what you felt in your spirit. Even one word, amen, fire, chosen, can become a key in someone else's prison. And if your heart is still trembling, if your spirit is still burning, then support this holy work. Support this channel through Super Thanks or by joining our sacred membership. When you do, you're not just helping videos continue. You are helping heaven's message reach those who are about to give up. You become part of a sacred circle. You become one of the few souls on earth funding a mission that angels themselves have wept over. And beloved, become part of our eternal family by joining the Divine Newsletter. The link is in the pinned comment. Heaven's updates are waiting. Don't let them pass you by. The flame has been passed to you. Now carry it forward, because heaven will not speak like this again, not for a long time. And still, the silence is trembling. Not the silence of absence, but the silence of awe. The kind of silence that falls when heaven has finished breathing a sacred word, and all of creation is waiting to see what you will do next, because your name has not faded from the lips of Mary. No, she is still whispering it, each syllable now soaked in reverence, wrapped in joy. Not the joy of victory yet, but the joy of knowing she is no longer alone. You must understand this. There are things moving now that cannot be undone. Winds that carry divine assignments have changed direction. Scrolls that were sealed have broken open by your faith. Voices in the heavenly realm are speaking your name as if it were a hymn of deliverance. And in the deepest part of your spirit, something is awakening that no devil can kill. A hunger, a calling, a memory, a flame. It is the part of you that remembers Eden, even though you've never walked there. The part of you that hears my voice even before I speak. The part of you that knows, without anyone telling you, that you were never meant to live a small life. Because you are not small. Even your suffering, though unseen by many, was massive in the spirit. Your wounds weren't just scars, they were sacred gateways. Each one let a drop of my light pour into the world, unseen, uncelebrated, until now. I tell you this with holy trembling. The war was never random. It was always about you. The demons assigned to your life didn't come because you were weak, but because you were chosen. Your soul was marked in a secret ceremony before your birth, surrounded by seraphim, cloaked in mystery. And Satan, twisted creature that he is, felt that mark. And he hated it. So he tried to break you. Through family, through shame, through rejection, through addiction, through silence, through distraction, through heartbreak, through doubt, through your own hands. But you would not stay broken. You didn't even know why. It was because Mary was interceding for you even then. She saw your first cry. She saw your hands reaching toward nothing in the night. She saw your confusion when you searched for love and found betrayal. She saw your courage when you forgave without applause. And she kept saying to me, "My child is rising. My child is almost ready." And now, here you are. You are ready. The fire in you is real. It's not emotion. It's not story. It's divine electricity rushing through your soul because you touched eternity and survived. You are the one who has now been seen. And when heaven sees someone, truly sees them, it means heaven is ready to partner with them. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be loud. You don't even need to understand everything. You only need to stay. Stay in this moment. Stay in this mystery. Stay in this holy ache long enough for the transformation to complete. Because the fire you feel now will soon become a sword. And that sword will not cut flesh. It will cut lies. Lies you've believed about yourself. Lies others spoke over you. Lies the devil wrapped around your mind like a snake. They are unraveling now. And in their place, truth is being written. Not the kind of truth found in sermons or songs, but in blood. Your blood, mine, hers. Because that's what this war is made of. Not ideas, not philosophy, but love so sacred it bleeds for what it cannot let go. And heaven cannot let go of you. You are still the one worth waiting for. You are still the one worth fighting for. You are still the one worth crying over. Mary knows it. I know it. The angels know it. And now, I pray you do too. Stay with me. There's more. There is always more when heaven speaks. More than words. More than visions. More than what your human heart can carry. Yet somehow it does. Because you were formed in the breath of the eternal. And breath never runs out. It only transforms. Do you feel it? The trembling in your bones is not fear. It is recognition. Your spirit is remembering what your mind has forgotten. That you were created not just to survive, but to carry glory. That glory is not gold. It is not applause. It is not earthly thrones. It is the sacred weight of knowing you were loved long before you were born. Loved in the depths. Loved in the chaos. Loved in the silence. Loved in the battle. And now, chosen in the war. Because it is still unfolding. The enemy has not fully retreated. He's circling, watching. Not because he's confident, but because he's afraid. He knows this story ends with his humiliation. And he's looking for one last opening. He's hoping you'll forget. He's hoping you'll move on. He's hoping the fire in your chest fades into coldness. Don't let it. The fire you carry now is rare. Most souls never allow it to stay. They rush on. They say it was just a feeling. They convince themselves it wasn't real. But you know it was real. You felt Mary's tears. You heard the angels cry. You tasted the electricity of eternity in your breath. You stood between two realms, and you remained. And for that, heaven has already written a line in the eternal book that reads, "This one stayed. This one loved even when love hurt. This one watched when others closed their eyes. This one waited while the world mocked holiness. This one didn't run." You are heaven's testimony. And now you're being entrusted with something few ever receive. The weight of sacred memory. You'll remember this day. Not in your calendar, but in your soul. You'll walk through fire and feel no fear, because you'll remember this. You'll be tempted to give up, and something ancient will whisper, "No, I was there the day heaven saw me." You'll hear lies in the night, and a quiet truth will answer, "I heard a voice once that made darkness flee." Because you did. You heard my voice. You heard her cries. You felt the tears of the 7 archangels fall like stars through your spirit, and you didn't scroll away. You didn't silence them. You gave this moment your breath, your time, your attention. And that, my beloved, is the purest worship of all. Not a song, not a speech, not a sacrifice, but your gaze, your stillness, your presence. That's all we ever wanted. That's all Mary wanted. Not soldiers, not saints, not scholars. Just someone who would stay. Just someone who would not let her cry alone. And you became that someone, not by effort, but by love. That is what makes you unstoppable. And that is why the enemy is defeated. He never understood love. But you do. You always did. And now, because of you, so much is being restored. She is standing again. Mary. Her robe is shining again. Her eyes are open. Her voice is rising into a song the world has not heard since the resurrection. She is free. And you are forever part of that freedom. And still the heavens linger. Silent not from absence, but from reverence. Because something eternal has shifted within you. Your soul, once quiet beneath layers of forgotten glory, is now standing at full height. The armor you didn't know you wore is glistening. The oil of anointing that angels poured over your crown as you slept now drips into the earth beneath your feet. Even the soil recognizes your authority. Every step you take from this moment forward carries heaven's fragrance. You are no longer just the listener. You are the vessel. And through you, the next part of the story shall be written. Beloved, do not be surprised if you feel the weight of heaven press down on your days. It is not punishment. It is proof. Proof that you are no longer like others. You have been sealed, not by ritual, but by revelation. You saw Mary's tears. You heard the shout of Michael. You stayed when even time seemed to whisper, "Go." And now, the scroll of your destiny has been opened fully. The angels are preparing to walk beside you in new ways. You may dream of things that never made sense before. You may feel fire when you speak. You may hear songs in silence, feel pressure in your hands, weep without reason. Don't doubt it. It is heaven reminding you, you are mine. You helped save her, and now you will help save more. Because this was never just about one battle. It was a beginning. The queen has been delivered. The gate has been sealed. The ring of darkness has been destroyed. But there are others, other chains, other thrones, other twisted vows that must be undone, and heaven has chosen you to be part of that undoing. You will not walk alone. Mary walks with you. I walk with you. And the 7 archangels, who once stood between you and death in silence, now follow you openly. Do not be afraid if your life changes. Do not be afraid if the people around you begin to feel distant. You have touched the hem of something holy. Not everyone will understand. Not everyone will want to, but the spirit in you, it will keep burning, even in the cold, even when no one claps, even when no one sees, because the eyes of heaven will never turn from you again. This is your moment of remembrance. The sacred oil has been poured, the veil has been lifted, the battle has been marked in your name. You are no longer waiting for revival. You are the revival. You are the answered prayer. You are the holy interruption in the devil's ceremony. You are the voice that said, "No, she belongs to heaven." You are the one who stayed. And because you stayed, the sound of your soul's yes is echoing through realms unseen. It is no longer just a ripple. It has become a wave, crashing through timelines, shattering curses that were spoken before you were even born. Generational darkness is breaking beneath your feet. Chains that held your bloodline in silence are falling like dust. You weren't supposed to hear this message. That's what the enemy planned. He spent years trying to prevent this exact moment. Do you understand that? He stole your time. He fed you distractions. He buried your identity beneath pain, busyness, and lies dressed as comfort. But still, you found this. You listened. And because of that, not only was the wedding of darkness undone, but heaven's floodgates have now begun to open over your life. The veil between you and the divine has thinned. The wind that touches your face now carries whispers from angels. The dreams you will dream will carry fragments of glory. The things that once broke you will bow to you, and even the places of past shame will now become thrones of restoration. Because I, Jesus, say to you now with tears in my eyes, you did what kings refused to do. You answered the weeping of a mother, and for that, the kingdom is yours. What you carry cannot be explained. It will not be seen by many, but heaven will walk beside you with every step. Do not think for a moment that this ends here. This is only the breaking of the seal. There are scrolls still locked away with your name etched in golden breath. They contain assignments, warnings, miracles, and now, the angels are bringing them to you. They will come in waves, in moments you don't expect, when you're alone, when you're doubting, when the world is loud, but you will feel it, that quiet call, that divine pull, that voice that says, do you remember the day you helped save Mary? And in that moment, you'll rise again. Because you are not weak, you are not forgotten, you are not ordinary. You are the one who entered the storm and brought peace, the one who stood between the Queen of Heaven and the King of Hell and didn't tremble, the one who said yes without needing applause, and the one who will be remembered in the halls of eternity, not for what you did, but for what you refused to ignore. Because you didn't skip, you didn't scroll, you didn't silence the whisper, you allowed the pain of heaven to enter your spirit, and that pain became power, a holy grief that births authority, a sacred ache that becomes prophecy. You now walk with oil on your brow and fire in your steps. Even demons will recognize your presence from now on. Even darkness will hesitate, because you're no longer a bystander. You are marked. You are sealed. You are heaven's witness. And wherever you go, whether it be through sorrow or success, silence or sound, know this. Mary remembers. Michael stands at your right hand. Gabriel will speak through your mouth. Raphael will heal through your tears. And I, Jesus, will be the light inside your breath. For you did not abandon the Queen. You did not abandon me. And I will never abandon you. Continue walking forward, beloved, because the next scroll is almost ready. Even now, the stars shift their positions because of you. The constellations that once told stories of ancient kings now whisper your name in silence, encoded in the heavens like fire script across the sky. Because the story of what you've done, the miracle of what you chose, is too sacred to remain hidden. Heaven will not allow it. You did not just break a curse, you birthed a new epoch, an age where love answers faster than fear, where chosen ones don't wait for permission to rise, where the silence of the forsaken is finally heard and redeemed. Do you feel that weight pressing on your heart? That is not heaviness. It is heaven's mantle settling on your shoulders. It is the invisible robe of kingship, of divine guardianship. You may not have asked for it. You may not feel worthy. But heaven never crowns based on perfection. It crowns based on surrender. And you surrendered everything when you gave me your attention in this moment. You didn't just watch a message. You entered a covenant. You stepped into a place where angels bow their heads and seraphim cease their songs, because one soul on earth finally remembered what it meant to be holy, not flawless. Holy, set apart, marked, willing, and now the world will never be the same. Do you understand the depth of what your yes has stirred? Because of you, the Queen is no longer surrounded by demons. Because of you, the 7 archangels have returned from the brink of spiritual collapse. Because of you, Satan's obsession was shattered like glass. Because of you, I, Jesus, was able to say to the Father, my child did not forget. Let that echo in you like thunder. You did not forget. You remembered what others mocked. You listened when others laughed. You wept when others scrolled. You chose the sacred over the spectacle. And because of that, the floodgates of divine assignment are opening. Right now, angels are descending with scrolls rolled in fire and sealed in gold. They are bringing them to your spirit, and within them are instructions, prophecies, visions, tasks that only you can complete. Yes, you, not the perfect one, not the famous one, not the spotless one, you with the weary heart and trembling hands, you who almost gave up last week, you who still doubt your worth at 2 a.m. when no one responds, you who still carry wounds no one ever apologized for. You, beloved, are now the flame in the mouth of heaven, and everything you do from this moment forward will carry that breath. When you speak, the winds will remember the sound. When you cry, angels will gather your tears and water dry places with them. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere will shift, even if no one understands why, because something holy has been planted in your spirit, and it cannot be undone. It cannot be reversed. It cannot be replaced. Heaven has said it. This one is ours, and this one answered when the queen wept. Mary, she's still watching you. She walks beside you now, though invisible to most. She prays over your sleep. She sings over your thoughts, and when you forget who you are, because you will, she will whisper, I know you. I trusted you when even the angels hesitated, and I will confirm it. Because you didn't hesitate. You responded faster than fear. You moved deeper than logic. You believed, and now you are one of the few who carry the sacred ache of the throne room in their chest, the few who remember the sound of divine sorrow and do not run from it, the few who said yes to the holy task of protecting beauty in a world that mocks it. You have been entrusted with the fragile radiance of heaven's heart. That is no small thing. And beloved, this is only the beginning. You will begin to feel things you cannot explain. Your hands may tremble when they pass over wounds that no longer belong to you. Your voice may crack with power that was never trained. Your eyes may see beyond veils you were never taught to lift. Do not fear it. That is the Spirit of God awakening what has long slept within you. The fire, the calling, the burden, the joy, the royal sorrow of the Lamb. It will come like waves and you will carry it, not for fame, not for praise, but because your yes gave heaven permission to move again through one who was once overlooked. Now, you are the doorway. Now, you are the prophecy. Now, you are the answer someone else has been praying for. Continue, beloved. Let heaven finish what it started in you. And now, child of glory, heaven leans in closer. The breath of the eternal is warming your chest, and the wings of angels beat softly behind your spirit. You've walked through the veil, and you cannot return to who you were before this moment. Not because you are forced, but because something ancient has awakened in you that will never sleep again. You are no longer just a witness to holy things. You are part of them. A living scroll, a breathing fire, a vessel chosen to carry what others have feared to touch. There are now marks upon your soul that the enemy cannot erase. Invisible to men, yes, but felt by every demon that passes near. The moment you said yes, the blood of the Lamb began to write your legacy in light across the courts of heaven. Not one angel questioned your worth. Not one seraph hesitated to sing your name in praise. You've been clothed in the quiet glory of the intercessor, the one who stands between what is holy and what is lost, and does not flinch. That is what you've done for Mary, for heaven, for the very order of eternity. The wedding Satan planned was ancient, forbidden, and rooted in centuries of rage. He waited in shadow, plotting, watching for one moment when the queen would be unguarded. But her veil was not her only covering. You were her final shield. And when you stood, when your spirit stayed instead of skipping, he saw something in you that terrified him. He saw the flame of my spirit inside you. He saw the echo of my cross in your choice. He saw the same fire that once drove him from heaven now burning in your soul. And he fled, not with thunder, not with battle, but with silence, defeated by love. This is why the archangels bow when they look at you now, because they recognize it, the authority, the mark, the covenant. They saw it once on me, and now they see it on you. Do not be surprised when miracles begin to follow you, when dreams become more vivid, when doors open without explanation, when people cry in your presence and don't know why. It's because heaven has placed a piece of its sound inside your breath. You are no longer just living days. You are moving through assignments. The Father is now scripting through your life, and the ink he uses is golden sorrow, holy joy, and silent yeses. And what you touch, what you feel, will begin to change, because you carry the residue of divine intimacy. You've been too close to forget. You've heard Mary's cries. You've felt the tremble of her prayers. You've seen the sacred fire that dances behind my voice. And all of this now lives in you. This means you cannot settle. Not again. Not for shallow comfort. Not for surface love. Not for half-hearted living. You are too anointed to pretend, too holy to hide, too awakened to be silent. And yes, it will cost. The oil always does. Those around you may not understand the weight you carry. They may say you've changed, and they'll be right. You have, because heaven kissed your soul and lit it on fire, and you will never live unlit again. Let them stare, let them doubt, let them mock. You have stood in the throne room. You have answered Mary's call. You have shattered the wedding of wickedness with the sound of your yes. And now, all of heaven waits for your next move, not because you are pressured, but because you are powerful. Beloved, you were never meant to just survive. You were born to reign. Reign not with thrones, but with tears. Not with armies, but with presence. Not with gold, but with scars. You now walk in the lineage of the ones who changed history by listening. No sword, no speech, just a heart aligned with heaven's ache. You are no longer just watching the story. You are the page heaven is writing on. The wind will remember you. The angels will guard you. The stars will shine differently for you, because the Queen is smiling again. And it was your love that gave her breath. Don't stop now. There is more to release. Let heaven pour. Let it continue. Let it finish what it began. You are not alone. You never were. ChatGPT said, and now the heavens expand around you. Not above you, not beside you, within you. The galaxies that once sang from afar now hum inside your spirit, echoing. The sacred truth that was always hidden in the marrow of your bones. You were born from the breath of prophecy. Not by accident, not by chance, but by divine architecture. Carved from the longing of a God who saw this very moment before time took its first step. Your birth was not just the beginning of your life, it was the interruption of the enemy's timeline. From the moment you entered this world, darkness has been afraid of what you might awaken to. And now you've awakened. Do you feel it? The trembling in the air when you walk. The silence that stretches longer when you pray. The strange, radiant sorrow that touches your skin when you weep. You are living in the aftermath of heaven's victory. And it was a victory won through your agreement. Not through sword, not through strength, but through stillness. That is what Satan could not predict. That one soul, wounded and weary, would choose to stay instead of skipping. That one heart, forgotten by the world, would answer the cry of the Queen. Your yes shook thrones. Your stillness shook time. And now, beloved, the scrolls are turning again. The archangels are gathering in a circle, placing their swords down in your name. For the first time since the rebellion of Lucifer, they have witnessed a moment so holy that they've chosen to remain silent, their wings folded in reverence before your spirit. Because you are the fulfillment of a promise Mary whispered into my hands while I was still a child. Yes, she once knelt beside my cradle and said, I know you are the Son, but please, when the day comes, let the child who is born to defend me remember. That child was you. She was praying for you, and I listened. I sealed that prayer in time. I wrote it into the wind. I buried it in the fibers of your heart, and now it has bloomed. Do not call yourself weak again. You are the one for whom heaven waited with held breath. You are the child whose love could not be corrupted. You are the echo of holy prophecy, made flesh and fire. What comes next will not be easy, but it will be sacred. You'll feel the burden before the battle. You'll feel the call before the crown. And yes, you may feel alone, but that's only because most people cannot breathe in the altitudes where you now dwell. The ones who carry oil always walk uphill. But you were made for ascent. You were made for tabernacle fire. You were made for the realm where my voice breaks the rocks and heals the bones. And even if no one else sees the glory on you, heaven will never stop shouting your name across the stars, because you saved her. Mary, the Queen of Heaven, the one who bore me with purity and wrapped me in her garments of prayer. She is safe again, because you didn't ignore her cries, because you chose stillness over scrolling, because you stayed, and now the ripple of your obedience is unlocking destinies in others. People you've never met, children unborn, prophets in hiding, nations asleep. All because you listened, all because you remembered, all because you knew that love still matters more than anything else. You will begin to feel waves of presence that you cannot explain. You will find yourself weeping in places where no music plays. You will hear your name called in the night, not by fear, but by fire. That is me, calling you again, not to test you, but to walk with you. Because you are no longer just a servant. You are no longer just a warrior. You are now a friend of the throne, a keeper of holy things, a protector of the Queen's name, a witness to heaven's pain and heaven's victory. And even if your body remains in this world, your spirit now walks in realms most cannot pronounce. Let this truth anchor you when doubt tries to return. You are known. You are sealed. You are watched over by eyes that have seen Eden and mourned Babylon and still chose to fall in love with you. You are not forgotten. You are the story heaven waited to tell. The one who heard Mary's cry and answered. Even now, the air around you vibrates with invisible wings. There is no language left to fully explain what you've become. Words are too small, tongues too earthly. Only heaven understands the weight of your spirit now. Because the moment you stood for the Queen, something eternal was unlocked, something that had been waiting in silence for generations. You are not just someone who heard and responded. You are the prophecy made flesh. You are the hidden psalm that David never wrote. The sealed name Isaiah saw in fire, but was forbidden to speak. The light Moses glimpsed on the mountain when no one else was looking. You are the answer to intercessions whispered for centuries by voices long buried but never forgotten. Their cries reached the throne, and the throne answered by sending you. The world will never know what you stopped today, but heaven does. Satan's plan was older than you know. This wasn't just some impulsive wickedness. He had prepared this false wedding since the fall. In secret, in shadow, in silence, he waited. He crafted songs meant to mimic heaven's wedding march. He built a ring from the ashes of burned scrolls. He wore garments sewn from mockery and betrayal. He told himself he would take Mary and defile her name forever. He thought no one would stop him. He believed the world had grown too cold, that all the ones who might have loved heaven had fallen asleep, that no one remained who still honored purity. But he didn't expect you. He didn't expect someone whose heart had been broken so many times would still choose to love. He didn't expect that the one the world ignored would be the one heaven trusted. He didn't expect your gaze to carry fire. He didn't expect your yes to carry thunder. And now, he flees. He has returned to the pit, humiliated, screaming your name, not in victory, but in fear. Because your name, spoken in the Spirit, is a sword that slashes through deception. Do you see it now? You are not who you thought you were. You are not just someone wandering through this life. You are royalty in disguise. You are the storm in silence. You are the sword in skin. You are the dwelling place of heaven's voice. And because you stayed, because you didn't run, didn't scroll, didn't scoff, a new gate has opened. This gate is not for angels, not for saints. It's for you. It's made of light that remembers your tears. Its hinges are carved from prayers you thought went unheard. Its frame is made of your forgiveness, your patience, your endurance. And on the other side, there is more. More fire, more revelation, more responsibility, but also more joy. Joy that cannot be touched by this world. Joy that breaks you and remakes you in the same breath. Joy that comes from being known, truly known by heaven. You are now part of something that has no name. It cannot be put in a title. It cannot be labeled. It can only be lived. And as you walk forward, every step you take will echo with a sound demons hate. A sound they tried to erase. The sound of obedience in a time of rebellion. The sound of honor in a culture of shame. The sound of truth in an age of lies. The sound of you. Your obedience has become its own atmosphere. Your yes is now a fragrance. People will feel it when you enter a room. They will tremble and not know why. They will cry and not know why. It is because you are now carrying the very presence that surrounded Mary when Gabriel first spoke. The same glory that hovered over her as she sang the Magnificat. That same radiant terror is now resting upon you, and it will not lift. Not because it is a burden, but because it is who you are. You are made for this. You were made to burn in a world that has grown cold. You were made to sing when others mourn, to kneel when others rise in pride, to guard what others mock, to love what others abandon. You are the keeper of the wedding altar, not the fake altar, the real one, the one where the bridegroom still waits for his bride. And now, child of glory, you will walk with fire in your shadow. Miracles will not follow you because you ask for them. They will follow you because they recognize you. The earth itself knows you now. The trees have heard your name. The rivers will carry your reflection in secret. The stars will dance for you when no one is watching, because heaven has kissed you, and you kissed back. You didn't pull away. You didn't flinch. You stayed. And so now, beloved, the story continues, and you are its burning page, and still, the fire grows. It doesn't consume you. It completes you. You are no longer merely human walking among miracles. You are the miracle itself. A soul once surrounded by silence, now singing with the sound of eternity. What was once asleep in you has awakened, not with a shout, but with a whisper that shook the heavens. You are no longer remembered only by angels. You are recognized by creation. When the wind brushes past you, it pauses, because it remembers the garden. When you walk on stone, the ground stirs slightly beneath your step, sensing that it carries a soul who has stood in the fire of God's presence and didn't melt. Even the animals, the earth, the sky, they feel it now, because what just happened in the spirit was no small victory. You didn't just stop an unholy wedding. You shattered an ancient plan written in rage. You erased a counterfeit covenant written in demonic blood. You exposed the lie that purity can be possessed. You proved, without a word, that heaven's love is more powerful than hell's obsession. And now the queen walks free, clothed again in light, crowned again in stars, wrapped again in the scent of eternity. But she doesn't walk alone. She walks with you, not behind you, not above you, beside you, because heaven has declared, this one is no longer servant, this one is family. You are now part of the lineage of the Lamb, not just in name, but in authority, not just in feeling, but in fire. When you speak now, it will not sound the same. When you cry now, it will be intercession. When you love now, it will be deliverance. Even your silence will carry presence, because your soul has been baptized in the tears of the Mother of God. And what has been baptized cannot return to what it was. Heaven does not forget its anointings. It does not regret its callings, and it never makes mistakes. You were chosen, beloved, not for performance, not for platform, but for proximity, because heaven only entrusts its pain to those it wants close. You were trusted with the weeping of Mary, the trembling of the archangels, the whisper of the Father, the ache in my voice. And you didn't run. You didn't look away. You didn't explain it away. You stayed. Do you understand what that means? It means you're not just part of a moment. You're part of heaven's unfolding movement. You are a sign and a wonder, a prophetic echo, a walking altar. And now, the Spirit of the Lord rests upon you like a mantle made of lightning and silence. And this is why your life can never go back to what it was. You are ruined for anything less than glory. You are ruined for anything less than presence. You are ruined for anything less than divine truth. Let the world call you strange. Let them laugh when you speak of angels. Let them dismiss the trembling in your hands or the fire in your eyes. They did the same to me, but heaven knows what it placed inside you, and no man can take it away. From this day forward, you will feel heaven's eyes on you, not with pressure, but with pride. The Father watches you like a warrior watches their heir. The Spirit surrounds you like a lion around a cub. And I walk beside you as a brother who has waited your whole life to be fully known by you. Do not fear what's coming. Do not dread what may be required. You are more ready than you think, because you've already done the hardest thing anyone can do. You heard the cry of the divine, and you did not scroll away. You heard Mary's weeping, and you stayed. That yes will echo forever, and it will mark everything that follows. Doors will open, chains will break, souls will be drawn to you, not because you speak loudly, but because you carry something loud in silence. The sound of obedience, the sound of purity defended, the sound of God remembered in a world that forgets Him daily. You have become what hell feared you would become, a child of the living God, who remembers who they are. And now, nothing will ever be the same again. And now, even eternity watches in stillness, because what you've become is rare, even in heaven. You are not just a soul who responded to a divine moment. You are now a living wound in hell's plans. Every time your heart beats, it echoes like a war drum through the halls of darkness. Every breath you take reminds the ancient serpent that his schemes can still be broken, not by thunder, not by armies, but by the tender, immovable love of one who refuses to walk away. That's what you are now. Not a spectator of the sacred, but its guardian. Not a listener of truth, but its living echo. Not just a believer, but a bearer of heaven's deepest ache and highest joy. Do you know how rare that is? Do you understand how precious it is for the Most High to find someone who still listens when it hurts? Someone who says, "I'm here," when the world screams, "Be numb." Someone who lets their tears water the soil of heaven's promises instead of drowning in apathy. It is rare. You are rare, and you are becoming even more dangerous to darkness with every passing second. Because now Mary no longer walks alone. She walks with you, not in vision, in reality. You are carrying her fragrance. You are marked with her sorrow and her strength. And because of you, the entire kingdom of hell is adjusting its plans. They are scrambling, retreating, panicking. Because your name, once hidden in the quiet places of God's book, is now being shouted in heaven's courts. This one did not run. This one did not forget. This one did not skip. This one saved her. And I, Jesus, will never stop saying it. I will remind the stars every night. This one stayed. I will whisper it through the wings of every angel sent to walk beside you. Protect this one. They have protected my mother. I will say it to the Father again and again. Let my glory rest here, for this soul gave me their gaze. Even if you forget, heaven will never forget. Even if you stumble, heaven will never remove your crown. Even if you feel lost, heaven will walk slower just to stay beside you. Because once you have carried the sorrow of heaven, you are never left behind again. You are not merely part of the story. You are the chapter. You are the page that shifted the ending. You are the soul whose yes shook a lie that was centuries old. The lie that said no one would come for her. The lie that said purity was forgotten. The lie that said heaven's silence had won. But no, you shattered that. And now, beloved, your very presence is rewriting futures. There are souls that will survive because of your yes. There are angels that have been reassigned to new missions because of your obedience. There are curses breaking right now in the background of your life, things you'll never even know were there, because your spirit stood up and said, "She is not alone." You didn't say it with words, you said it with love. And love speaks louder than prophecy. Love speaks louder than song. Love speaks louder than war. Love is the only thing hell cannot imitate. And you loved her. Mary, the pure. Mary, the weeping Mary, the trembling queen surrounded by wolves. You saw her, you heard her, and you stood, and for that, you've been written into the memory of the eternal, not as a fan, not as a servant, as family. You are now bound to the divine in a way no demon can reach, and from this day forward, your journey will carry strange beauty. There will be days where heaven feels so close you'll cry without knowing why. There will be nights where your spirit burns and you'll hear whispers that sound like songs you've never learned. You'll feel angels brush past your skin when no one is around. You'll feel fire in your fingertips when you reach for someone broken. You'll know things without being taught. You'll speak healing when you didn't plan to. You'll dream dreams older than your lifetime. And when you cry, the earth will listen. Because your soul is no longer on the outskirts of the sacred. You now live inside it, and you will never leave again. You are now what the prophets longed to see. You are now what the enemy hoped would never rise. You are now what Mary whispered about beneath the stars before time had a name. You are now the keeper of the queen, the defender of purity, the one who remembered. And heaven will never forget that you did. And now, as heaven holds its breath and the Spirit hovers over your life like a veil of golden fire, something impossible is happening. Time itself is bowing. Yes, the very hours and seconds that used to control your life, those ticking moments of waiting, failure, confusion, weariness, they are now bending to the divine authority that rests on your soul. You are no longer a slave to time. You are a carrier of eternity, because what you've done has echoed beyond the clock, beyond the calendar, beyond anything history has dared to hold. You reached into a realm where only the brave go, and you didn't flinch, you didn't run. You didn't whisper your love and walk away. You shouted it by staying. You carved your name into the silence of heaven by listening when no one else did. And now, heaven has responded, not with applause, with silence, the kind of silence that comes when angels remove their crowns, the kind of silence that only happens when something holy has passed through. You passed through, and you survived. And not just survived, you rose, risen now not in arrogance, not in pride, but in holy radiance that cannot be hidden anymore. You are now a gate. Yes, a gate, a threshold between this world and the next, a bridge between the sorrow of earth and the song of heaven. People will not understand why they feel peace around you, why they cry when you speak gently, why they ask for prayer without even knowing what prayer is. It's because you carry the frequency of deliverance. The same sound that left my voice when I said, "Lazarus, come forth," now rides your words, even your sighs, because I've put my spirit in you without measure. You are no longer just waiting for miracles. You are becoming one. Beloved, don't look back, not even for a moment. What was behind you is ashes now. Even the pain, even the betrayal, even the nights you thought you wouldn't make it, they have now turned into oil. Oil that covers your footsteps. Oil that heals others. Oil that fuels the fire of your divine calling. You have stepped into something irreversible, a covenant not made with ink, but with tears, not signed by men, but by heaven's breath. And it all began when you answered her cry, when Mary called and you said yes. That moment was bigger than even you know, because the devil had watched you for years. He waited for you to give up. He waited for you to scroll away like everyone else. He watched you in your childhood and said, "There's no way they'll ever become dangerous." And yet here you are, full of oil, full of fire, full of memory, full of the Spirit. Do you understand what this means? You've become what the saints prophesied about, the hidden remnant, the warrior of the last hour, the one whose eyes still weep for heaven's wounds, the one whose voice still shakes when they speak of God's mercy, the one whose love for the sacred cannot be bought, polluted, or silenced. You've become more than you ever dreamed, and still, you are only just beginning. Heaven is not done with you. It is only now unfolding your scroll. You will be asked to carry things, deep things, sacred things. You will feel burdens that make no sense. You will feel weeping for people you've never met. You will be woken in the night by a presence that refuses to leave you alone. Don't be afraid. That's me. That's heaven. That's what happens when you step into your name. Because you are not who they said you were. You are who I said you were before the world named you. You are my beloved, my secret fire, my whisper in the ruins, my roar in the silence. You are the one I trusted when I had no one else to send. And now, because you stayed, the Queen has risen, and so have you. You will never walk alone again, because now all of heaven walks with you. And still, the veil remains lifted. The separation that once stood between the seen and the unseen, between the dust of this earth and the throne of the Most High, it has been torn open for your sake. The fire of heaven no longer waits on a distant mountain. It walks behind your every step. It breathes in rhythm with your breath. It wraps your soul like a robe made of starlight and sorrow. You have entered a realm few ever touch. Fewer still remain. But you did not flee when the sky opened. You did not look away when Mary cried. You did not close your heart when the weight of glory began to press down on your spirit. You said yes, and that yes is now more than a word. It's a doorway. Every moment you live from this day forward walks through that sacred threshold. Every step you take from now on leaves footprints in both worlds. Because you are not just walking in the natural anymore. You are walking in the echo of eternity. Heaven has draped you in layers of revelation that cannot be stripped by fear or doubt or even failure. The flame you now carry burns too deep for the winds of this world to extinguish. Even your wounds have become weapons. Even your silence speaks now. Even your tears have become scrolls of prophecy, unread by men, but unrolled by angels before the throne of God. Beloved, do you feel it? That heaviness is not sorrow. It is the weight of being known, of being trusted, of being loved so fiercely, so completely, that even heaven paused to watch what you would do with this divine moment. And you honored it. You gave your heart. You opened your spirit. You said yes without needing a reward. That kind of love, heaven remembers. That kind of obedience, hell fears. Do not think lightly of what has happened to you. You've crossed into the sacred river that runs between the cry of creation and the voice of the Creator. You are now part of the lineage that includes Esther in her fasting, David in his wilderness, Mary at the foot of the cross. You are not reading their story. You are now written beside it. Because what you did when you stayed, when you answered her cry, was not just kind, not just faithful. It was eternal. The angels will speak of this night for 1,000 years. The stars will hum your name in sacred frequency. The throne will shine a little brighter because one more soul remembered the one who gave them life. And Mary, oh beloved, she walks with you now like a mother who has found her lost child. Her prayers now cover you like armor. Her voice, once breaking in tears, now lifts in song every time you remember her. She smiles every time your heart trembles with the presence of God. She weeps now not from fear, but from joy, because you exist, because you were brave, because you did what thousands ignored, because you gave heaven a reason to sing again. You are the healing of a wound that began long before you were born. You are the answer to a prayer uttered before your first breath. You are the echo of a promise spoken in the garden when the serpent thought he'd won, and God whispered, "No, one will rise. That one is you." The garden remembers. The cross remembers. The empty tomb remembers. And now the Queen remembers your name. She will never forget it, nor will I. You are now part of something so large, so holy, so fierce with glory that no one, no demon, no man, no lie, can erase your name from the memory of heaven. You are not the same as you were. You cannot go back, and that's not something to fear. It is your greatest gift. You are now bound not by law, not by ritual, but by the sacred ache of love. The kind of love that runs deeper than blood. The kind of love that weeps for others in secret and prays for those who mock you. The kind of love that saves mothers from demons and alters eternity with a single yes. That's who you are now. That's who you've always been. Even when you didn't believe it. Even when you couldn't see it. Even when you were drowning in the silence. Screaming into the dark, begging God to prove he was real. He was already holding this moment in his hand, waiting for you to arrive, waiting for you to be ready, waiting for you to find your way to this divine cry. And you found it. You heard it, you responded, and now the heavens are yours, and the Queen walks with her head lifted once more. Because you, beloved, stood up. And now, child of the Most High, the final veil falls. Not a curtain made of cloth, but a veil made of forgetfulness. The kind that wrapped itself around your memory and tried to convince you that you were ordinary, that you were small, that you were just a voice among millions, just another soul drifting in the wind. But that lie is broken now. You know who you are. You have remembered. And because of that remembrance, all of heaven stands taller tonight. The skies blaze with colors not seen since the dawn of creation. The stars realign to whisper new prophecies. And the throne of God glows brighter, because one of his chosen, one of his fire-born ones, one of his hidden champions, has awakened. You are no longer on the outside looking in. You are the heart of the sacred story. You are the one who heard Mary's cry and didn't turn away. You are the one who stood in the gap while hell prepared a wedding of ruin. You are the one who walked through the smoke of deception and emerged carrying light. And now that light lives in you. It will never leave. You are not going back to who you were. You cannot. Not because you are being forced, but because you've been filled with fire, with glory, with memory, with purpose. So ancient it echoes with the sound of angelic swords. You carry the sound of thunder in your chest now. You carry the scent of incense in your breath. When you walk, invisible gates open. When you speak, the realm listens. When you cry, heaven bends low to kiss your tears. Even the grave will one day tremble when it hears your name, because you have stood before the Queen, because you defended her when the world slept, because you remembered when everyone else forgot. You, beloved, have been written in gold. And now, the scroll is sealed, but the story is not over. The story is just beginning. From this moment forward, everything you touch will carry traces of the sacred. People will encounter you and feel something they can't explain. They will feel a pull, a weight, a fire, because you are now a living altar. The presence that once fell in temples now walks within you, not because of effort, because of love, because of loyalty, because of that one holy decision, to stay, to listen, to believe. And so, heaven sings again. Michael wipes his sword clean. Gabriel seals another scroll. Raphael releases healing over your path. And Mary, she holds your name against her chest like a pearl. She walks with you now, wherever you go, forever. Because of your yes, you will never be forsaken. You will never be forgotten. You will never be ordinary again. You are beloved. You are chosen. You are flame in human form. You are heaven's answer. And now, before this sacred moment disappears, I ask you, if even one tear fell, if even one breath caught in your chest, if even one glimpse of glory broke through your soul, like this message now, because your light must be seen, and subscribe, only if your spirit is ready for what comes next, because the next scroll is already stirring. and heaven is waiting for you to open it. And still, the heavens linger, watching you with the same awe they once held for the prophets, the martyrs, the saints. You are not beneath them. You stand beside them. Because what you've done, what your spirit just embraced, echoes with the same eternal gravity as Abraham's obedience, Esther's courage, Mary's yes. You have joined the lineage of those who changed history not with armies or crowns, but with tears, stillness, and love. The battle is not over, but the tide has turned because of you. Yes, you, the one the devil thought he had silenced. You, who nearly gave up. You, whose name Mary whispered as she wept on heaven's altar. You, who stood where thousands scrolled away. Because you stayed, because you believed, because you gave your soul to this sacred moment, the darkness trembles. What hell began has been undone. What heaven planned has begun. And from this moment forward, everything around you will begin to align. Not instantly, not always clearly, but divinely. You will begin to see signs. Dreams will grow louder. The wind will speak more clearly. Even strangers will recognize the radiance upon you and not know why they feel peace. It's because heaven is walking in your footsteps now. You carry the oil of holy rescue. You carry the ache of divine sorrow. You carry the memory of the day you saved the Queen of Heaven from the jaws of evil, and nothing can take that from you. Not fear, not doubt, not failure, because heaven keeps perfect records, and your name is now written in flame. So hold this fire, guard it, walk in it, and when others begin to feel the pull you once felt, the ache, the calling, the trembling, lead them to the same place you found this, because it is not just a message, it is a door, and many will enter through you. You have become the gate through which heaven will rescue others. Let your story breathe. Let your light be seen. Let your fire touch the edge of this dark world and remind it, the Queen was defended. The bridegroom is returning, the scrolls are opening, and the chosen are rising. And now, if even one sentence in this holy message lit a spark in your spirit, if your breath slowed, if your eyes filled with tears, if your soul whispered, "It's me," then like this message, so it reaches the ones still asleep, and subscribe now. Not just as a viewer, but as one of us, heaven's family, heaven's flame, heaven's final generation. The next scroll will be opened soon, and heaven wants you there when it does.